Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub Pub Sports Radio, Wednesday, November 23rd, Thanksgiving Eve for those of you south of the border in the U.S. Ian Cameron, Dutch Boy Fresh, Billy Briz, ready to break it down on a Wednesday. A big NBA slate. No time to waste. We have to move with haste. 12 games. We'll start with Minnesota and Indiana. We've got the Timberwolves, 1.5 2-point road favorites. The total being bet up. I definitely agree with the total being bet up with what we see really quite a bit with both of these teams, more known for offense than defense. I definitely agree with that move. Minnesota, they've won 4 in a row after a little bit of a skid for them. But when you look at the victories, Miami beaten up right now, did have a nice win against Philadelphia, beat Orlando, beat Cleveland on the road. So they're definitely playing a little bit better basketball. But this Indiana team just continues to also win games right now. 10-6 straight up. They've been one of the best point spread teams this year, 11-5. ATS coming off a big blowout win against Orlando, 123-102 in their last game. As far as when you look at this matchup here, Timberwolves, still a team that's been a little bit too erratic for my liking to trust them here as slight road favorites. I actually like Indiana here a little bit in this game. Certainly when you look at the Timberwolves going in here, they're fairly healthy. From an Indiana standpoint, looks like for them, still Duarte out. Looks like Nembhard a game-time decision, but they got Ty Halliburton on the court, and that's, of course, the main thing with how well he's played. So I actually like Indiana here as a slight home underdog, +2 in this one, and I like that over as well. I agree with the move up. Dutch, what do you think here, Timberwolves Pacers?
Yeah, man. Real quick salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents for tuning in. You already know it's all love. But be sure to hit that motherfucking like button, share the video, and subscribe to Pub Sports Radio, goddamn if you have not. But we got to stop all things. It's Tasha. It's one of our girls, T. It's birthday. Happy birthday to you, young lady.
Happy birthday.
Time to be a birthday, day before Thanksgiving. Everyone's going to be in a party motherfucking mode, Tasha. So salute to you. Happy birthday to you. And let's bring her some motherfucking winners, right, fellas? Yeah, man. All right. So what game are we talking about again?
Minnesota. It must be a backwood, right?
Yeah, backwood this motherfucker, goddamn it. All right.
Yeah, whenever Dutch has to ask what game are we on, he ain't got shit on it. That's about
hey, you know what it is, though. It's like Halliburton, right? I mean, come on. If it's Pacers, I know that. I learned that from Wham Ski in the goddamn chat. But yeah, Billy will attack it. I know you got something good.
Yeah, for the most part here, I kind of lean towards the Timberwolves side. I feel like both teams coming into good form, but Timberwolves against a little bit better of a competition. And I feel like the way the Timberwolves play basketball kind of lean towards the way the Pacers defend. They want to get up and down. The Timberwolves are going to get up and down. And historically, a good spot for Minnesota, 6-2, last 8 ATS games in Indiana. And Anthony Edwards has been playing well, 25 or more in 3 of his last 5 games. If you're looking for the player prop side, that would probably be the way to go, is Anthony Edwards or Halliburton over 10.5 assists. It could be another one. His double-double prop is now at -300. Unbettable, unparlayable, but we're going to roll with the Timberwolves side here.
All right, like in the T-Wolves, Philadelphia, Charlotte. We've got Charlotte 4.5, 5-point home favorites, 215 being the total in this game. You got to give the Sixers a whole hell of a lot of credit last night. Obviously, they played the big TNT game against Brooklyn. Philly fans booing the living shit out of Ben Simmons. I can't necessarily blame them for that. But definitely you got to give Philadelphia a good amount of credit to win that game 115-106 with everybody that was out. It was very impressive. Charlotte, on the other hand, they've lost 3 in a row going into this game. I'll tell you what, it is back-to-back. It's a rest advantage for Charlotte. It's probably a very difficult spot for Philadelphia, and I understand that's probably why people are betting Charlotte here in this game with Embiid out, Harden out, Maxey out, Thibault out. It's a depleted Sixers team, but you still don't have LaMelo Ball for Charlotte, and I don't know if I'm ready to lay 5 with Charlotte, so it's a pretty easy pass for me when it comes to 76ers and the Hornets in this one. Dutch, anything here, Philly-Charlotte?
Yeah, man. Hey, salute to Tobias Harris. Me and Billy, we talked about it yesterday. I wasn't really looking at that card really too heavy, but we felt that shit. We knew what the fuck was Brooklyn doing being -8-point favorites on the road. And I know you felt the same way, Bro Bono. You just weren't here to speak it. But right, Billy, we seen right through that bullshit. So hopefully y'all didn't get caught up a little too much. Shout out to Nets Bets, though. I think he was in his fanboy mode yesterday, but it's all good. Much love to him. Shout out to our guy Razor Sharp Picks. Rance, I see you, my man. But yeah, this game, I can't really touch it. I know our guy, Sharkwater Nations, is liking the Hornets here, so it looks like this could be a Hornet spot. Big win, obviously, with the depleted Philly squad being 8-point dogs at home in front of the fans. Might not have too much in the tank tonight, to be quite honest with you, but it's hard to put my money on the Charlotte Hornets. So I'm going to have to pass on this motherfucker.
Yeah, I just won't do it. Without LaMelo Ball, I won't lay 5 with Charlotte. But I'm passing on Philly as well. Like, look, everybody stepped up. It's Brooklyn. It's TNT. Everybody that was in for the injured players stepped up. Do you trust them to do that back-to-back in Charlotte now?
They could read last night.
That's the thing. I mean, everybody played over their heads last night. Do they do it again tonight? I'm not so sure. It's an easy game to stay away from for me. What do you think here, Billy?
I mean, sometimes those guys be announced. Sometimes a wake-up call. I mean, not everybody wants to listen to Doc Rivers' old ass sometimes. And, when the bench rotational guys get in there, they listen to Doc Rivers a little bit. I kind of lean towards the Sixers getting the points. I don't want to ever lay points with the Hornets. But I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. D'Anthony Melton over 2.5 3-pointers, minus 150 today. It was at minus 115 yesterday. We talked about it yesterday without Maxey and Embiid and Harden. He was going to be the guy shooting the shots. And last night he had 6 threes on 11 3-point attempts versus Brooklyn. Should see about 8 attempts in this one versus Hornets. Good pace-up spot. I think D'Anthony Melton goes over that 3-point prop again.
All right, D'Anthony Melton over his 3-point makes for this game. Portland, Cleveland. Cleveland 7.5-point home favorites. 214 being the total in this one. Wow, you got Portland, who's just been a machine on the road. I mean, incredible stuff. 6-3 straight up, but 8-1 against the spread on the road for the Portland Trailblazers this year. They cashed another ticket as a dog against Milwaukee the other night, 9.5 points. We kind of thought we were reluctant to lay that many with Milwaukee, and it was warranted. Portland only loses by 8. It is their 3rd loss in a row. They are still, of course, without Damian Lillard. It looks like Keon Johnson's out. Josh Hart's a game-time decision, so still a little bit banged up. And, of course, whenever you miss Lillard, even though, like Ski said the other day, he wasn't playing great going into his injury, but bad shot selection and all that, but still you miss him, and you might miss him here against Cleveland. Cleveland here, 3 straight wins. They've blown out Miami and Atlanta at home. I ain't stepping in front of Cleveland. You know what I mean? I mean, they've been terrific to me all season. They've been my number 1 money-making team this year in the NBA. They've been terrific on their home floor. As good as Portland's been on the road ATS, well, Cleveland's 6-1-1 ATS at home. So for me, it's a pass for me. I'm not going to lay 7, but I ain't going. I'd lean Cleveland, but I respect what Portland's done on the road, even without Lillard. So pass for me. Dutch, how about you? Blazers, Cavs.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy JT dropping knowledge. Denver first half -2, Portland +8 here. Also, Spence, I see my man dropping a lot of plays. We appreciate everybody in the chat dropping plays. Bang, bang, my guy. I like the Cavs here, man. You touched on it, man. They've been real nice. I think they're just another level than the Portland Trail Blazers. Even with Dame, I do think they're a better basketball team, and without him, I think they missed the leader, the head of the motherfucking snake over there, Damian Lillard. In this situation, the Cavs, man, they've been at home. They're vibing out. They want to feel good. They want to have a good night and a good time Thursday as well. I think they're going to take the same mo in here. You've mentioned how well they played at home. In this homestand, they're 3-0 first half. Been really smacking them around in the homestand. The Cavs, to me, they're a pretty prolific offensive basketball team, and they're number 2 NBA from deep. I mean, with Garland and Mitchell and these boys, I know they're going to be missing LeVert, but the role players play damn good as well. Also, 48% from the field, top 5 in field goal percentage in the NBA. I think there's levels to this shit, and we get the Cavaliers under 5. First half is good money to me. I think this probably is a trifecta spot, but you did mention that Portland does seem to hang around a little bit. So maybe first quarter, maybe a little more. But for me, my money, first half -4.5, even money, that's good money.
Yeah, I'm with you. I lean Cleveland for sure, but you're right. Portland just somehow stays in the game for pretty long period of time, especially on the road. Can they do it tonight? We'll see if they can duplicate that again. What do you think here, Billy Briz?
I like Evan Mobley over 14.5 points at -125. Love and LeVert being out for this one. Mobley's had 15+ points in 6 out of his last 8 games. He should get a pretty good height mismatch here against Jeremy Grant with Nurkic being on Allen. Portland should probably put more emphasis on the guards like Simmons, Winslow, and Hart. I think Evan Mobley is going to have a good game today.
All right, Evan Mobley props for Billy. All right, Brooklyn and Toronto. We've got the Raptors, 2.5 point home favorites, 222.5 the total in this game. Holy crap, is it a banged up Raptors team still? I mean, and now Scotty Barnes, of course, game time decision day to day. He didn't practice yesterday, left knee sprain that he suffered against Atlanta over the weekend. So he's questionable. They're already with Delano Banton's game time decision. You've got Precious Achua, Otto Porter, Pascal Siakam still ruled out. So it's at the same time, I don't want to take Brooklyn on a back-to-back right now. On the road after last night, but the Raptors are pretty depleted. Raptors kind of not been as good defensively the last 3 games. They've kind of trended over the total for their last 5 as well. Brooklyn, is back to the same old, lackadaisical, turn it on and off like a faucet defense the last few games. That's concerning. So I'd actually probably bet over, if anything, in this game. Nothing on the side. I'd probably like to make a case for Toronto if they were a little bit healthier, because they have the situational huge rest advantage. Let's keep that in mind. They haven't played since Saturday, so 3 days off. But man, I was hoping they'd get some bodies back, some players back tonight. And not only did they not get anybody back, but now Scotty Barnes may also miss. So that's going to keep me off Toronto. What do you think, Dutch? Nets, Raptor?
Yeah, man, this is a tough game for me right here, because it's hard for me to put my money on Brooklyn. It really is. I don't really think. Every time I try to really go in on these motherfuckers, they act like they don't give a fuck about basketball. Ben, shout out to Ben though. Last night he did his. He definitely cared. I don't know if any of the rest of them did. But Ben played hard basketball. At least he was not great, but he played with effort, and that's something he doesn't always do. But in this game, man, I do believe this is a Brooklyn spot. Obviously, it's the situation of Toronto's basketball players, who's playing and who's not playing. If Toronto was healthy, I would look to smack the Brooklyn Nets against right across the face. But in this game, I think, man, this is a Brooklyn spot. I really do. After that's embarrassing last night to lose to that team without Harden, without Maxey, and without Embiid. You lose a fully healthy team now. So I do think this could be a smack spot. Maybe first quarter, first half. Haven't got there yet. Very hesitant to bet on the Brooklyn Nets, and I think it's a good spot for them. I think they're going to come out pissed off against a depleted Toronto Raptor basketball team. First quarter, first half, Brooklyn Nets. I might get there.
Spencer in the chat, Spenny penny bombs, Fred and OG, and that's good enough for me. He thinks the Raptors. I want to take Toronto. Trust me, I do. I don't like that they're without so many key pieces here when it's all said and done. But they do have the big, like I said, the big time rest advantage, and Brooklyn on a back-to-back. So scheduling wise, it's good for Toronto. But I might stay off just with who's missing for them. What do you think here, Billy?
Man, we got the Maui Invitational tonight. Battle for Atlantis, man. Backwood this bitch. Did you not see my boy Grady Dickey earlier today with the 25 clip, 7 threes from deep? College basketball is good money. I don't want to be betting my money on these Nets and Toronto Raptors tonight, so backwood for me.
All right.
Yeah. Some of the college games last night were better than some of the NBA games, quite honestly. I mean,
I was watching a little Maui Invitational last night. I was like,
that Creighton Arkansas game was spectacular. I mean, you can ask for better basketball than that. It was an incredible game. All right, Washington and Miami. We've got the Heat 1.5, 2-point home favorites here, 211. I ain't laying shit with Miami with who's out for them right now. It's just been a disaster in terms of it's the performance caused by injury. Obviously, they're better than a 7-11 team. We think they are, at least when they get everybody back. But they just have too many pieces out. Strus is out now. Robinson, Butler, Vincent. Hero's a game time decision tonight. Bam Adebayo, a game time decision. They've got some bench pieces like Deadman. It's a game time decision as well. So the front court's ravaged. Multiple the backcourt's ravaged. I mean, what isn't battling significant injury right now for the Miami Heat? But Hero has been at least upgraded, and Bam looks like he will play for the Miami Heat. And Hero's more questionable, but they're saying he's been upgraded from the ankle injury that's kept him out for the last 8 games. Certainly Bam back, and if Hero plays, that certainly goes a long way to helping Miami, but they're still coming off, I believe, a road trip as well. So you talk about the scheduling spot probably not being in their favor. Washington, look, they're 10-7. They've had a solid season to this point. I was definitely leaning, and I still do lean to Washington here, but you got Bradley Beal, who is maybe questionable to play with a quadricep injury tonight. Monte Moore, same thing. They've got some injuries that they're dealing with too, but at the end of the day, I'd still favor Washington over Miami. I'm just waiting for lineup clarification, but I've definitely got Washington circled for a potential bet here as a slight underdog on the road. What do you think here, Dutch? Washington, Miami.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Sweaty Butcher. Just getting done with his work, my man. Smoking some exotic, I'm sure. Lit picks. I see you, bro. Yeah, this game, man. I want to bet Washington here. Today's one of those days where I just look at a card and can find a spot. But it's like if I was running a little bit better, we'll just keep it a hundo. I probably would be on the Wizards right here. Haven't got to the window there yet. But the Heat, man, they've been a fucking auto fade. You touched on it a little bit, Bobano. I mean, they're 2-11 ATS last 13 home basketball games. I mean, we could just fade. And Washington on the other side has been a bet on basketball team. They're playing good basketball when, fully healthy a little bit. Obviously, Kuzma's streaky as fuck, but he's been playing good ball. We got, Beal back, and then KP's having one of his better years of late. They are 6-2 ATS last 8 meetings in Miami as well, which is quite surprising that they go to South Beach and actually do well. So if I had to bet this basketball game, it would be the Washington Wizards, but I don't know if I can get to the window at this time. But definitely Miami is a suspect basketball team. Who in, who's out, whoever's been wearing that jersey on the basketball court, they haven't been doing what we need, and that's getting us paid. So there's no way I could look the Heat here, but they did just beat Washington. This is one thing that probably is auto red flag for me why I haven't bet this basketball game is because Washington beat them less than a week ago in Washington. Now it's back to Miami. So probably a stay out. That's probably the auto stop for me right there. Shout out to Sam Comer. I see you, my man. But yeah, so yeah, I'll pass on this game, Billy. What you got, my man?
I'm kind of with Dutch on that. I feel like I was highly invested in that Wizards game last week, and fuck the Wizards, man. They didn't fucked up the spread. They were supposed to cover. Man, there was a lot of things that went wrong with that one. But flash forward to today's spot. This is the first game on the road for them after 6 straight home games for the Wizards. Seems like a spot where Miami should get a little bit of home cooking on Thanksgiving Eve, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get the job done. It's a very sharp line. It's a straight pick 'em. I think the move here for me is probably just go to the prop market and mess with some Tyler Hero props over 2.5 3-pointers at -125. Seems like a good spot. No Max Strus out there. I doubt they're going to give Duncan Robinson the minutes. So I think Tyler Hero is going to have the green light tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Someone's got to step up offensively with everybody out. And you think if Hero plays, he's got to be the guy, no doubt. Dallas and Boston. We've got Boston 4.5, 5-point home favorites, 218.5 the total in this game. Shout out to Star Child, by the way, $5 dono. Appreciate it. He's in here every show. Much appreciated from our guy Star Child. All right, Dallas and Boston here. Both of these teams lost their last game. Dallas losing to Denver at home as 10.5-point favorites, 98-97. Boston had their win streak snapped by Chicago, and decisively. They weren't even competitive, losing 121-107 in that game. Both teams looking to bounce back here in this spot. Dallas catching points. I like it when Dallas is catching points. And when Boston's on the kind of win streak that they're on, they finally have it snapped. Sometimes it takes a game or two to get back on the beam again. So maybe a little hangover from having the win streak snap for Boston. I like Dallas. I think they're a live road underdog here tonight, 4.5, 5 in this game. Certainly whenever you've got Luka the Don on the floor, you're going to have a chance. Dinwiddie's a game-time decision with Kleba for Dallas. But look at Boston, still without Williams Gallinari, but Jason Tatum, all of a sudden on the injury report with an ankle sprain, questionable for this game. I think Dallas is very live. They've won each of the last 2 meetings in Boston at TD Garden. Last year they went to Boston, they beat them. 2 years ago they went to Boston and beat them as well. I think we got a close game, worst case scenario. Give me Dallas plus 4.5, plus 5. What do you think here, Dutch? Mavs, Celtic.
Yeah, man, I'm liking what I'm hearing, Bobano. I'm liking what I'm hearing. Shout out to our guy AOD coming through. El Dorado, my man. I see you. Banana grapes. But yeah, you know what it is. It's Luka the motherfucking Don. The alpha will shine tonight. The true alpha, Luka. Yeah, man, JB nice. And Tatum real nice too. But give me Luka the motherfucking Don. I don't like that Dinwiddie popped up on the injury report. I think he'll go, though. Obviously, they lost to a fucking B squad in Denver. They put it on him, smacked him on the first time back in the back-to-back situation with the Nuggets. And then they lose by 1 point there. I think they'll come ready to rock and roll. We got maybe a little bit of hangover, like you mentioned, with the Celtics. Long road trip, only 1 game off, and now they're back. I think they might still be in Turkey. They might already be in Turkey mode. They didn't get to handle all the shit, like our boy Jay Money would say. They didn't get to handle all the business in one day, especially with the family coming through for Thanksgiving, I think. So I look at the Celtics maybe starting slow here. I like the points here as well with you, Bobano, but I like it more first half. with the plus 2.5. And I do, if I see a nickel out there, I'm going to have to jump on it. But the 4.5 is probably good money as well. But I'll take the Mavs first half plus 2.5 because we know what happens with the Mavs. They tend to fade. They tend to fade a little bit more to go. Third and fourth quarter, their numbers are very, very low compared to the first quarter, second quarter. Now, when you look at it, the Mavs play well against the Celtics. This is an ESPN game, so we know what it is. It's prime time, and the Mavs are 3-0 ATS straight. 3-0 straight up last 3 meetings versus these boys. So, like I mentioned, they match up well versus the Celtics. 71% of the public on the Celtics, 81% of the money. Like you said, I like the Mavericks catching points. Let me go ahead and get Luka with the points plus 2.5, and I definitely lean full game as well.
I actually have to lean under Star Child with the total here because Boston's trending under in recent games. Dallas, same thing since Luka's been back. 3 of the last 4 have gone under. And none of these head-to-head games with Boston and Dallas have come close to 218.5, 219. We've seen them pretty much all stay under that number. So that's probably where I would lean under the total. What do you think here, Billy?
Muted, my guy.
You got me pulling the hezzy with this one, man. I don't think Tatum plays tonight, man. He's questionable for tonight. And if Tatum doesn't play, I feel like getting on the Mavs now would probably be the move here. Player prop market here, we got Luka Doncic over under 31.5 tonight. I think that goes over 31.5. He don't give a fuck about Thanksgiving, man. He ain't American. This is just another game for Luka. This is primetime ball. I think Luka goes up and over tonight. Jaylen Brown could be also a good prop market hit tonight, especially with the news with Jason Tatum. I really don't think Jason Tatum plays. I haven't seen any props on him today, and that could really just make my decision a lot easier here. I think it's Mavericks or pass.
And yeah, he seems to get up for these bigger, especially defending Eastern Conference champions in the finals last year. These are the kind of opponents and games he loves, Luka. He relishes it, getting up for these kind of games. So he'll probably want to have a big performance tonight. All right, Sacramento, Atlanta. We've got the Hawks 4.5, 5-point home favorites, 241.5 the total. I mean, it's hard to bet an over at this number, but I still did. I mean, I don't know where the defense is going to be played in this game. We know Sacramento is a team that's been going up and down the floor. I mean, we've seen some huge monster totals with their games. The Detroit game had 266, San Antonio 242, the Brooklyn game had 274. I mean, they're scoring in like crazy, Sacramento, but they're giving it up like crazy as well. So hard to bet them under the total, even with this total being in the 240s right now. They are on the second of back-to-backs after a victory against Memphis last night, 113-109. Rest advantage for Atlanta, but they are off a loss to Cleveland. They've got DeAndre Hunter game time decision, it looks like, for them tonight in this game. And people are paying attention to what Sacramento's doing. They're playing solid basketball here. 7 straight wins, 6-1 ATS the last 7. Difficult to step in front of them. I ain't stepping in front of Sacramento. It is, though, Atlanta at home off a loss with rest. So it's a really good spot for Atlanta. So might be enough to keep me off Sacramento. But if you made me choose, I'd take the Kings plus the points before I lay it with Atlanta. I like the over more, honestly, because I just think we'll see a bunch of points here. I think it will be a back and forth, high scoring affair. Dutch, what do you think here? Sacramento, Atlanta.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy H-Town. LJ, I see you, my dude. Sabonis over 11.5 rebounds. Yeah, Sabonis has been playing fucking outstanding basketball. We touched on it yesterday. Shout out to our guy Kyle. I don't know if he's in the chat right now, but 5K on them Kings full game. Smacked him over the motherfucking head. Good shit. I think this is Atlanta spot here. Another one of these games where I think I should get to the window with the Hawks here. I think the Kings, that was a tough game yesterday. I know they were down early, came back, but it's always tough to go to Memphis and play and win a basketball game. A lot of running, a lot of the effort. In a back-to-back situation here, Atlanta at home, I feel like they're probably going to want to set some good vibes for this little Thanksgiving day as well at the house. I think Atlanta right here might be good money, man. It's hard for me. Atlanta, I'm not very high on this basketball team, and I'm actually really high on the Sacramento Kings. But this is one basketball game, and this to me is a clear Hawk spot.
I agree with that. It is a really good Hawk spot. I just don't know if I want to fade Sacramento, so that's where I'm at. What do you think, Billy?
I think me and Dutch are smoking on the same strand of weed because this is one of my favorite plays of the day. I think Atlanta is going to beat the Hawks here, man. I feel like every win streak is going to have to come to an end. And it just seems like a good spot here. Second half of a back-to-back in Atlanta. I think I don't want to hit Atlanta early. They haven't really been playing good early. I think Atlanta pulls this one out late and covers that 4.5. I'm on Atlanta today.
All right, Atlanta with the spot advantage. See if they can get it done. Denver, Oklahoma City. OKC 1-point home favorites, 229 the total in this one. OKC, I'm telling you what, they've been a gutsy team. They really have. And, they've continued to score points in bunches. Problem is they also are giving up points in bunches like they did to the Knicks. I'm just going back to the overs with this team again. It's not like Denver's a great defensive team consistently, I mean. At times they can be. But they've had their ups and downs in terms of that end of the court. The last two meetings between the Thunder and the Nuggets, 239, 232 in terms of points scored, both of them over this total. And that's where I'm at, and just avoid a side and look toward points, and more points here with Denver and Oklahoma City. By the way, Pokusevski, who missed the last game for Oklahoma City, the young center, upgraded to questionable, so he might be able to come back tonight for them. As far as Denver goes, we've got both Joker and Jamal Murray questionable tonight for this game, and that's obviously going to influence where the line is now. And certainly if they're confirmed out, you're going to see it move even further on OKC. I do lean Thunder, but again, I just think the over is the better option here. They're scoring and they're giving it up at the defensive end, OKC, and I don't know if that's going to change tonight, even if Murray and or Jokic don't play. What do you think here, Dutch, Denver, OKC?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bang Bang said it, man. He said it, man. We got caught the fuck up the other night in the Thunder Buddy mode, and not again. Backward this time.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but credit to the Knicks, Dutch. I mean, they got embarrassed by OKC at home, and the Knicks paid them back.
The Knicks have impressed me a little bit of late, which is just I just can't get it right, bro. Betting them or fading them is just it's not good for me. I gotta stay away from Knicks basketball.
Man, every sport, there's gonna be a team like that. You just don't
this
have
year's
a
the
good
Knicks
read
for
on
me.
them.
Yeah,
exactly. Billy, what do you think?
Thought I was going to be a Thunder buddy today, but looking deeper into it, it seems like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander spot.
Yes.
Over 29.5 points. He's gone over this total 11 out of 16 games. First two games against Denver, 28 and 37. Denver offers no real rim protection. They're going to be this is a good advantageous matchup for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's always in a good mood to ball, and I think I want to be back in Shai tonight. Plus, Denver in the second half of the back-to-back defense is going to be a little bit worse. I think Shai does some home cooking here in Oklahoma City tonight.
All right, Chicago Bulls, Milwaukee.
Real quick,
Go ahead.
I can't let that go. Shout out to our guy Kyle too. Came through. I see you, my man. But Shai, and I like to play, a lot, Billy. Okay, and I love the guy I'm about to talk about even more. But Shai, I know y'all seen what Shai said. Kobe, Kobe Bryant. Kobe is Michael Jordan on steroids. Come on, man. That's a little out of line, all right? That's some youngin' talk.
He's smoking on that gas, man.
Yeah,
he's smoking on that gas.
Hey, Shai done a lot of good things, but he was absolutely motherfucking bullshitting on that one. Because Michael Jordan is Kobe Bryant on steroids. Rest in peace, Black Mamba. Come on now, you know the truth. Yeah. I just had to get that crossbow on my bed.
He is a big Kobe fan, but that's a little rough hearing him say that. Even I usually will defend him at every opportunity because he's from Hamilton like me, but my goodness, he can't be saying stuff like that. It's
Yeah, he's Canadian. He's never seen that boy play. He only saw the Lakers play.
Plus, Michael Jordan was even before his time. He wasn't even.
That's
born,
what I'm saying, man. He probably really only watched Kobe in the prime.
He put LBJ in front of MJ. Well, I don't want to get started on that. I just had to touch on, at least that. But yeah.
Beto, how does that work with your guys' like primetime games? You guys get the TNT games, or do you guys?
They'll pick them up. Well, I get them anyway because I got IPTV. I can get TNT on IPTV and ESPN channels.
I was watching everything.
I get that. But if you just have cable and satellite in Canada, you can get the NBA games. They'll show the TNT games on the TSN and the Canadian sports networks. They'll pick up the TNT feed. You'll get. There we go. You
just wondering that. And a side note, back to that Kings game. I forgot to talk about this revenge spot for Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, the redheaded stepchild. Yeah, it's a good call
Big
there.
big revenge spot for him. You know his heart was broken not getting re-signed to Atlanta. He
Yeah,
said
for
the
sure.
ass wasn't good enough to come back, and he said, "Fuck it, I'll get paid somewhere else." So, if you're looking for a prop tonight, over 2.5 3-pointers is always a good look.
Yeah, we like those revenge spots in every sport. So look at Kevin Werder, the red-headed stepchild for Sacramento tonight, facing his old team, the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, definitely. All right, we got the Dono train. Kyle Hintley and $10 Dono. Vic, fire it up.
Let's go.
There it is, $10 Dono. Kyle, thanks again, my man. Appreciate it. Good to see you. All right, let's go to Chicago, Milwaukee. Milwaukee, 7-point home favorites, 224 being the total in this game. Here we go again with Milwaukee. Every game, it seems they're in this, this moderate range where they're favored. And right now, I'm not necessarily rushing to lay big points with them. 5.5 points at Atlanta. They lost outright. 3.5-point favorites at home to Atlanta. They lost again to the Hawks. They were 9.5-point favorites against Portland in their last game. They only win by 8. Feels like this is going to be right around the number when it's all said and done this game. But I will say this for Chicago, this is playoff revenge. I don't know if you want to, go crazy talking about Chicago now because it's playoff revenge. I still don't think this is a great team, but they did show you against Boston what they're at least capable of some of the time. You just don't see it often enough. You see them beat Boston, best game they played in weeks, and you also see them lose to Orlando. Bipolar. You talk about bipolar. This Chicago Bulls team is that bipolar as fuck right now. This team, hard to figure them out. What we do know though is they played some of the better teams pretty competitive. I mean, they almost beat the Pelicans at home. They almost beat Boston again in Boston earlier this year. They did have a win at Brooklyn. So Chicago's had these moments where they've stepped up, and I would expect Chicago to bring it tonight, playing Milwaukee for the first time since the Bucks just completely wiped out Chicago in the playoffs last year. I don't know if that's enough for me to want to back them, though. I guess I'd lean Chicago, but I'm going to steer clear of this one. Total's gone up, by the way, to 224.5. So betting markets think there's going to be some points scored in this game. I certainly wouldn't disagree with Chicago involved. What do you think here, Dutch?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get this back here. We didn't get that first half last night, the other night against the Blazers with the Bucks. I think we get it here tonight. Bucks first half -3.5. It's good money. They smack these boys around. I understand where you're coming from, Bobano, on maybe a little bit of playoff factor, but this is just what they do. They beat Chicago. I mean, they just bullied these motherfuckers. And you said it. Chicago is bipolar as fuck. They fugazi as fuck to me. Shout out to Wham Bam, and I believe you might have said it as well. It was a great spot for the Chicago Bulls on Monday when we were all loaded up. But they're 3-0 ATS and straight up last 3 meetings the Bucks are versus these boys. Average margin at halftime, 17 points. 17 points. So I think it's just going to be another one of them ass whoopings. Bulls are 2-18 last 20 against Milwaukee. I'm telling you, it's the bigger brother, and they smacking this little motherfuckers around. I'm going to take advantage of it. Give me 3.5 first half. It's good money.
There we go. Bucks first half. Fear the deer in the first 24 minutes for Dutch. All right, Billy.
Yeah, Dutch is spot on. This is on my card too. Bucks first half here, and Dutch talked. That got me a tongue twister. Dutch talked about it a little bit about how the Bucks have just historically owned the Bulls, man. 18-2 straight up in their last 20 games versus each other, and currently the Bucks #1 defensive rated team in the league, only giving up 45 points per game in the paint, 4th best in the NBA, second in opposing field goal percentage allowed, and I think. If you want to lean towards a bet, I kind of like the under in this one, but I think the Bucks first half get in, get out is good money here.
All right, next up, Pelicanos and Spurs. New Orleans, 6.5, 7-point road favorites, 229.5 being the total in this game. When you look at it, New Orleans plays Memphis, OKC, Toronto. All right, that's good enough for me. I'm laying it with New Orleans here. That's good enough for me. They should smack down the Spurs. They really should. Spurs are just brutal right now. They get blown out by the Lakers. How does that happen? How do you lose by 31 points to the Lakers, 123-92? You lose by 22 to the Clippers, by 18 at Sacramento. Like, what are you doing if you're San Antonio? It's just been absolutely hideous for them. They're finally playing like the fucking bottom feeder we expected coming into the year. They're now 6-12. Josh Richardson and Zach Collins remain out. Zach Collins they should just keep that man injury report for the rest of his career at this point, Zach Collins, because that's every game it seems like we see him on there. New Orleans, rather, coming into this game, looks like everybody's good to go. McCollum, Ingram, Jones, Williamson, JV. I mean, when we see that starting five intact, McCollum, Ingram, Jones, Zion, and JV, that's pretty good. And we see what they're capable of with that group on the floor. It's there's no look ahead. They play Memphis, but it's on Friday night after the Thanksgiving break. They should come in here and just wipe San Antonio. I really think they should. It's a little fishy, I guess, Don Mac, that the market has stayed right around this 7, but I see it starting to go up now. 7.5, it might move to. So there is some little movement going on with the Pelicans right now. So I'm going to lay it anyway. I just think it's a mismatch, and Spurs have given me no indication that right now they are capable of competing with a team like the Pelicans right now. What do you think here, Dutch? Pelicans, Spurs?
There's some plays for this game. Shout out to Spence, but I'm going to back with this motherfucker.
All right. Yeah.
There you go. Devin Vassell over 19.5 points. Zion 25 plus points, plus 110, parlayed together plus 300. So nice little value shot there for Spencer in the chat. Billy, what do you think here?
Yes, Benny Bombs hit it right on the nail of the coffin. I'm going to Devin Vassell, over 2.5 3-pointers at -130. He's gone over 2.5 3-pointers in 8 out of his last 10 games. Still currently at 2.5. It's been at 3.5 these last couple of games. I like it. Keldon Johnson's there at 2.5, but he's been a little bit ice cold from 3. I think it's Devin Vassell season. I like that 3-point prop here tonight.
All right, there we go. Next up, we've got Detroit and Utah Jazz, 12-point home favorites. Total in this game, 233. Monster total. It's gone up significantly. And look, Utah's pushing pace. We know that. They've done that pretty much all season long. Scoring points, trending over the total, whether it's them scoring, whether they give up points. But they have been definitely heavy toward the over, especially of late. Detroit's certainly been that way because they have struggled at the defensive end of the floor. They did have a stunner last night, beating Denver 110-108, but now it's back-to-back in altitude for the Detroit Pistons. At the same time, the Utah Jazz, I'm just trying to look back on their schedule here, and I'm trying to see, have they been at any point this year a double-digit favorite? The answer is no. So this is rarefied air for Utah. Do we know they're capable in this price range, being favored by this many points? I'm not willing to lay it to find out, but Detroit can't be backed for me. They're a bad team. I know they shocked everybody with the performance at Denver last night, 110-108, but on a back-to-back in the thin air, that's not a spot I'm looking to take the Pistons. So Vic, you can roll. This is my biggest backwood of this card.
All right. Yeah.
All right, Dutch, how about you?
That's one of them crazy stats right there from El Dorado. Shout out to him, dropping 19-1 on November 23rd all time. So there you go. I don't know if the date matters, but there you go. Butch got some knowledge too. Shout out to everyone.
The date matters.
Yeah, there you go. I like the date, man. November 23rd. I like the number too. Shit, run with it. Whatever makes you profitable, man. I don't knock anybody's cap. And shout out to Mally Mal, man. I see you, my dude. But yeah, this game, man. I already forgot what I was even talking about this game, man. Yeah, I do think it's Smack City, Utah here. I do, but there's no way I'm laying that. And that's a good number. That's a good little nugget from you, Bobano, with the not being double favored. By Utah there, because I thought this number looked extremely high, to be quite honest with you. But first quarter, first half, probably Utah getting that ass early and often, in my opinion.
All right, so lean to Utah, first half, full game split possibly. Billy, what do you think?
I'm going to trust the numbers here, man. Larry Marketing over 2.5 assists at -120. He's gone over the last 4 games in a row, averaging 3 assists with a 120 point implied team total versus the Pistons. This is a great matchup for him to get the job done. I guess he's been facilitating the ball more. I'm going to keep on rolling with it. It's a short number. I definitely think Marketing could get over 2.5 assists tonight, especially with his usage rating for the Utah Jazz. Probably the best matchup for any small forward in the league is against the Pistons.
All right, final game, L.A. Clippers, Golden State Warriors. Golden State opened a 7.5-point home favorite. They're now up to 10 here, point home favorites in this game, and the total sitting at 223. across the board in this one. Golden State's got the magic of their home floor. We've talked about that repeatedly, that if they could just play the way they do at home on the road, it'd be a totally different team. But, they win and cover against the Knicks at home, against San Antonio at home. They beat Cleveland, a very good team at home. It's just been a different team on their home floor compared to on the road. The Clippers are playing all right. I mean, better basketball of late. They've won 4 of their last 5, beat Utah on the 121-114 in their last game. Are they ready to handle the Warriors, though, tonight? That ends up being the question here. As far as the Clippers go, there's no Paul George, there's no Luke Kennard, and there's no Kawhi Leonard. All of them ruled out tonight for the clip joint. So Kawhi with the right ankle sprain, he's out once again. Paul George, hamstring issue, he's out once again. So that's why the money's come in on Golden State. I'm not in a rush to fade Golden State at home. Maybe a first half full game split if you want to with the Warriors. Does everybody rise up with the Clippers without PG and without Wheelchair, as Ski calls them? We'll see. But I've just made that decision where not looking to fade Golden State on the home floor right now. What do you think here, Dutch, with the Clippers and Warriors?
Yeah, man. We appreciate you coming through anyways, Mal. You missed the whole show, but it's all up, my man. Yeah. Rewind this bitch. Rewind the motherfucker. But yeah, follow us on Twitter too, because we will post all the plays as well. For everyone in the chat, smash that like button real quick. We appreciate everyone vibing with us. Yeah, this game, man, personally, I can't really bet this basketball game. The Clippers are the Clippers, man. And the Warriors, are they going to care about this basketball game? I just feel like hopefully what we could maybe do here, and this probably is the best spot for this basketball game, is the Warriors start out slow, and we could get on them sometime at around halftime, third quarter, and get a way better number. So hopefully they kind of do lackadaisical start to this basketball game, and this seems like a very profitable live NBA game, But I'll pass on a side or total pregame.
All right, definitely. Yeah, and the under probably makes some sense in this game. I was a little surprised that the total's gone up. I certainly would lean the other way and look under 223. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, never like back in 10 points in any basketball scenario, NFL scenario. It doesn't matter the sport. 10 points is a little bit too much. I think the way to attack this game, if you like the Warriors, hit that team total over 116.5. There's a lot of ways that can get there. The Warriors, I think they played the Knicks last Friday at home. They put up 123. They usually put up good numbers at home. And then let's say if the Clippers do make this as a close game, the Warriors aren't going to play defense. This is going to be a high-paced game. So there's definitely a lot of ways that team total could hit and that -10 could not hit. So I think the way the move here is probably team total here, but I think it's a backwood altogether in this one. Better games, man. We got the Maui Classic tonight. It's going to be at 11 o'clock p.m., man. I mean,
right.
Why are we betting the Warriors game? And if I'm taking a 10 with Duke.
That's actually a consolation part of the Maui Invitation. The final is actually coming up at 5 o'clock in a few minutes. Creighton and Arizona, man, what a game that's going to be. It's the consolation, the losers bracket they're playing tonight. Arkansas and San Diego State, and what's the other one? Cincinnati and Louisville. Which, by the way, Louisville sucks. Just fade Louisville every game right now and get yourself paid.
They're so bad.
They're horrible. Kenny Payne's lost. That guy can't coach that team. And he doesn't have a great team roster anyway, but his coaching isn't helping. That's just a bad situation with Louisville, which we will discuss more about with me and Connor Mack at the top of the hour with college basketball net profit at 5 p.m. Eastern time. That's it for the Wednesday card. Hit the like button, everyone. 193 live viewers. Let's go run that shit up. Hit the like button. Yeah. We appreciate it. Give thanks to Pub Sports Radio on the eve of Thanksgiving. So make sure you hit that like button. And we appreciate it very much. Again, Thanksgiving Eve from me, even as a Canadian, to everyone, to Billy, to Dutch, to everyone in the chat. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. Enjoy the holiday and safe travels if you're going to see family and friends, all that good stuff. Enjoy your football, friends, family, turkey, all that stuff tomorrow. So enjoy it. And don't forget, if you're around and just kicking it and watching the games, you're not doing family stuff, Jimmy the Bag's running Pub Sports Radio NFL live bet streams for all 3 games tomorrow
Holy
in the
shit,
NFL.
bro.
He is. And he's desperate to get people to join him. I might even hop on for
This
a quarter.
fucking guy loves this shit. That's awesome, though.
He does.
Oh,
You know what it is? If he was on a fucking losing streak right now on the live bet streams, he wouldn't be doing it. But he's on a heater right now.
He's running hot.
He's running good with the live bets on these bet streams. So he wants to get in on the action again. So he'll be on the air tomorrow for Bills, Lions, Giants, Cowboys, and Patriots, Vikings. All 3 games tomorrow. So looking forward to that. So make sure you join up and tune in on Jimmy the Bag Show. I'm leaning to the Dogs in the first 2 games and Minnesota in the late game, Star Child. So there you go. Lions, Giants, and then the Vikings in the late game. I just think Detroit's undervalued right now. Buffalo, we've seen them, not so dominant here the last few weeks. So that's where I'm headed with that.
Always play bad on Thanksgiving. The Lions and the Cowboys always look like dog shit against Thanksgiving. I forget what the number is ATS wise, but I think it's 30%.
Yeah.
ETS
Cowboys are worse, especially as home favorites on Thanksgiving. They've been going back to when Tony Romo played for the Cowboys. They've been just absolutely terrible as home favorites on Thanksgiving. So 3 good games tomorrow. So check out our guy.
Isn't Minnesota going to smack New England tomorrow, though? My bad.
The move is the 3-leg teaser: Buffalo, Giants, Vikings. Go get yourself them 7 points.
This isn't one of those days you fuck around and do some shit on Thursday. Yeah, you might be right. Hey, make it to the night game, baby. Let's go. Hey, but I think Minnesota might. Man, come on, man. They got embarrassing. I got to see who's all out there. I got to look into a little more, but I like that, man. The numbers actually went the other way a little bit, I believe. So.
Bro, people are going to be like, oh, the Patriots bet.
As an underdog.
Kirk Cousins on prime time.
Yeah, Bill, yeah.
No Belichick. Yeah, of course.
Man, y'all got lucky. If any Patriots fan that's watching this show, y'all got lucky as fuck last week, man. Like,
that good against the Jets.
Nah. The Jets are bad, man.
Minnesota is in a bounce back spot. They got embarrassed, no doubt. So now, was that sign if they're going to go into a little bit of a late season swoon, or is that just? I think they ran out of gas after Buffalo. That was a crazy game.
Yeah, that was insane, bro. That was an all-time gamer, bro.
Alfonso Scott with that
they
stat
hit a wall
in
last
the
week.
chat: 3-18 straight up, 7-14 ATS for the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's the only concern. But it does feel like
they're.
It's a lot of points to be laying with Buffalo in this spot because they went to Detroit back home and now back to Detroit. Weird spot for them, but Lions are playing better. I mean, and remember, it's not like they've been blown out. They've been competitive in a lot of the games they lost even earlier. Remember, they almost beat Philly week 1 of the season at home. So yeah,
I think it's way too many points, bro. But it's going to be
is
one
it
of them.
really though?
We're betting on the Lions. It's going to be one of them. Oh shit!
That's true.
The tide has turned.
You're gonna be black. You start off your Thanksgiving day by betting the Detroit Lions. You're gonna be blacked out by.
I'll be like, I agree. I'll be like,
you're not
why
gonna make
the
it
fuck
to
did
your
I bet
turkey
against
dinner.
Josh Allen? I got this motherfucker Goff against Josh motherfucking Allen. Oh man. I'm just asking for this shit. You're right, Baba. You're right, Billy. I'll be blacked out by like 1:30.
Like, damn, man. Rolling into the night game, like, fucking, we about to double down with the Vikings, right?
Yeah, you're not going to make it to your Thanksgiving dinner for anyone losing their ass on the Lions in the early game tomorrow. You're right. You'll be drunk before you even get an ounce of turkey in your gullet tomorrow. All right, so that's tomorrow. So check out our guy, Jimmy the Bag. Check out our best bets coming up right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, Southtown 101 and manscaped.com. Again, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase using the promo code PubSports. All right, best bets, final best bets before Thanksgiving for the NBA Pub Up. Dutch, let's start with you. Freshest look for Dutch.
Yeah, man. Freshest look. We're going to Mr. Blessum Land. We're going to motherfucking Cleveland and Cavaliers. We're going in and out. First half, -4.5. Even money. That's good money.
All right. Cleveland Cavaliers -4.5. First half against Portland tonight. Freshest look for Dutch. Billy, best bet.
Yeah, we're going to go to hot Atlanta. Atlanta's going to cool off those Kings tonight. We're back in Atlanta, -4.5.
All right, Atlanta -4.5 tonight against Sacramento. Best bet for Billy Briz, and also keep an eye on that Hoarder prop for Sacramento. I think that is good in that revenge spot. And my best bet, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Best bet winner on Monday's show with the Knicks and the Thunder over the total. This OKC team is just death taxes, OKC overs. Let's go with that. Denver, Oklahoma City, over 228.5. For my best bet for this Wednesday card. That'll wrap it up. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, to you and yours. We'll be back on Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. It'll be me, Ski, and Billy on the show, and Dutch will be on with Jimmy the Bag earlier on Friday, probably. I think Jimmy's still going to be on Friday to talk NBA, and I'll be on that show as well. So Friday, we're back at it with the NBA Pub up 4 p.m. Eastern. For Billy Briz, for Dutch, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again Friday for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to Miss Tasha T. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy the weekend. Happy motherfucking Thanksgiving to all the real ones out there. And salute to all the real ones. Winner Circle, Star Child, Mally Mal. I see you, my guy. Harold Williams, I see you as well. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.